Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here with Life is a Shonen. If you're enjoying the content on our channel, go ahead and like our video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to go ahead and get updates whenever we put out a new video, go ahead and click that little bell down there as well. Enjoy. Hey guys, Mr. Abyss here this week to bring you episode 4 of the latest season, season 3, of My Hero Academia. Really good episode this week, just as good as last week. You really got a good insight to the growing heroism in Midoriya. You know, this kid has been striving his entire life to be like All Might, and he seems to be taking steps towards that goal. I don't know how long this series is going to be. Of course, no one knows that but the creator. But I'm going to be really interested in the growth of Midoriya going forward from here. How quick will it be? How long? You know, we're going to get a time skip later on, which I would love to see in this. After maybe they graduate, you get a time skip after they get out of school. And, you know, that'd be really cool. He's really starting to become a main shonen character to me. He reminds me of people like Naruto, like Luffy, that have a goal set in mind, and they're doing everything in their power to reach that goal. Midoriya is going to be the hero that All Might is. And it doesn't matter if there's a giant guy covered in muscles in front of him. It doesn't matter if that guy is stronger than anything he has faced before in his life. And then it doesn't matter if after that, he still has to go and perform duties, even after finishing this guy off. He was an inspiration to Koda, as you saw when Koda used his water power on the muscle guy. Didn't do anything, but hey, it gave him the distraction long enough for Midoriya to gather himself and to be able to put that man down. Now, from there, Midoriya had to go and notify the rest of the people what was going on and what information that he learned after defeating the muscle quirk guy. And they said his name in the thing. I don't remember it, but I do have quite a few. I tried writing them down as we watched it this time, so I'll be able to identify most of the people by name. As Midoriya leaves, we flip back to Aizawa. Last we left him, he had been notified, gotten the information that there was an attack taking place, and that he needed to make his way towards at least Mandalay, most likely, to try and relay more information to the other students. But was intercepted by the Fire Quirk villain. I believe his name was Dabs. I think that's kind of weird. Dabs, I'm going to go with it. If it's wrong, I'll correct it next time. Who, right now, is my favorite villain in the thing. Just his design, with having the stitches in his smile, kind of like the Joker. You have the, if you remember Itachi from Naruto, he used to have the, what would you call, the bags under his eyes. Well, this guy has at times like 30. I'm not really sure where those come from or why he's stitched up like that. But maybe we'll find out later. I hope he's not a villain that just gets one-shotted in the end. His blue flyer. His blue, bleh, bleh, bleh. I'm really interested to see a clash between Todoroki's fire versus his blue flame. Since technically blue flame is supposed to be hotter, can can Todoroki handle something like that? Would his ice be able to handle it, or could this guy just overpower him purely fire-based? And is this just a level up of his father's quirk? Who knows? The world may never know. But in true Aizawa fashion, he is never down for the count. He made it through the initial attack, was able to turn the tables on Dabs, and eliminate his quirk. Normally this would work. He would be able to take out this quirk, and as you saw, he was dislocating. Here's your one arm, here's the other arm. Don't make me take out your legs so that I have to carry you the way to jail. It'd be a little too much effort. I don't want to put that much effort into it. As he's getting ready to dislocate that final leg, though, the villain turns to him and starts melting. It almost looks like it's mud or clay. Come to find out a little later after that it's actually one of the other villain's quirks. He can make copies of people using his clay, kind of like Midoriya from Naruto. Sorry, I'm going to make Naruto and One Piece references. If you do watch the shows and you do know these characters, you can at least grab pieces of them to further understand the character that you're watching. His quirk, I believe his name was Twin maybe? His quirk seems that, I don't know what are the requirements, what he needs to be able to make the clone, but whoever is on his team, he can make an exact clone of them, and more than likely, they're probably not as powerful as they would normally be, which bodes well for the fire guy, because I hope he's more powerful than that. From there, we switch back to Midoriya, I believe. And they're doing a very good job so far of balancing the different groups. Getting pieces of this group, flash to the next one, flash to the next one. It's good storytelling. It keeps me invested in everyone, and even though I'm sure some people read it and they're mad that you leave Midoriya, or they're mad that now I get invested in this, I'm gone from there. But no, you're having everything build together in bits and pieces and push each other to slowly work towards the climax at the end of the story, which like I said before, holy shit, it's worth it. If they do it well, like they're doing it, I think y'all are really gonna enjoy it. I mean, like, So, we're back with Midoriya. He's running through the forest, and he comes upon Aizawa, which is very good because Midoriya is running, like Aizawa says, Midoriya is running on pure adrenaline right now. If at any moment he was by himself and completed his goal, got to tell someone and then left, he would more than likely pass out and not be able to move for the rest of the arc. He needs, and he needed Aizawa to let him know that. You're really fucked up right now, Midoriya. I understand that you need to go do this, and I'm going to have to let you go do it because I got to go take care of my own shit. I'm the teacher for all these students. I've got to make sure every single one of them are safe. And this isn't like the first invasion. I don't just have Class A. I've got Class B to worry about now. And as far as their reputation in school goes, they're not as well off in this as Class A would be from experience, just from quirk power. But you're going to see later on in the episode that that's not true. They're just as formidable as Class A. Another thing I wanted to do is kind of like, not a tangent, a little side note. There was a small child, this little Midoriya and Koda's relationship reminds me of a relationship from Naruto when they were on the Naruto bridge. It was a child, he lived in this village, they came in, some shit went down, kid had to stay with Naruto had to protect the kid. Pretty much the same exact thing. But I will say Koda is a much better character than that kid. That kid was annoying as shit. I felt like in Naruto he just made things worse. I'm not going to harp on Naruto, don't worry. Koda, I feel for Koda. Koda is very, very worried about Midoriya. Even though he was being an ass, he really, really cares about him. He likes Midoriya. And I think it's cool that they didn't just make Koda a whiny brat. It was very easy to do that. Instead, you put some work in. He seems like a pretty cool character. By the way, during all this, Midoriya has been making like some badass entrances. When he first entered with the muscle quirk guy, he popped in there, gave him a hit. Midoriya was badass. And then he shows up later with Mandalay while they're fighting, kicks his way through there, even though he had no use of his arms. Like, Midoriya is so much more cooler than he was Season 1. Season 1, he was a true just, like, kid. He was a kid going to school, he had these dreams, didn't really know what the dreams entailed. I mean, it's like regular life. You go into something, you power through it, you try to get there, but you're not even really aware of what it takes yet. You haven't had the slightest inkling until you put yourself in the situation and you see what you're made of. And Midoriya has had to go through that time and time again. Whether it was the UA Sports Festival, whether it was fighting Stain, whether it was from the first invasion, he's a hardened vet now, nearly. You'll find later on that he hadn't faced a real villain yet, or at least not a top-tier level one. One of the flashes we take after that is to Bakugo and Todoroki. And I just want to go ahead and say, I don't know how the fan base feels. I fucking hate Bakugo. I think he's one of the most irritating, annoying characters I've seen in manga, in a long time. You have this power, but you're so fucking angry and so, like, bloodthirsty that that you're just in the way. Like, you're fighting this guy, your quirk's going to set the thing on fire. Todoroki knows that. He hasn't used his fire at all. You've got to stick with ice because you're in the middle of a forest, because everything can catch on fire, and you're going to be a hindrance to everyone around you. And even though Bakugo, still in his angry, I don't really give a fuck voice, he's kind of like Batman, but like a little higher. Yeah, he said he understands that, but Beat doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck. Bakugo needs a reality check like Midoriya's had. I don't think Bakugo really understands what it means to be a hero. He just wants to go fuck shit up. And that's irritating to me. I'd rather than focus on Todoroki, let the villains have fucking Bakugo. I don't want him here anyways. After all of that goes down, Mandalay relays the message to everybody, so everyone has a general idea of what's going on now. We switched, and I'm going to have my, I didn't write these names down, so we're going to go with my nicknames being Metal Guy and Giant Girl. Oh no, Metal Guy and Choji Girl. Choji could grow his hands just like her. So we switched to Metal Guy and Choji Girl. The Choji Girl realizes that the smoke that is surrounding them has actually been moving with within an epicenter. And the smoke follows that epicenter, and no matter where it moves, the epicenter, the smoke's going to go with it. That's why you have some of the areas not having smoke or having light amounts of the smoke. Some of them not even coming in contact with it at all, having no idea it even exists, like Mandalay. Metal Guy takes it upon himself, realizing that really the only thing to do then is to charge the direct center and try and take it out. Because if we just wander through here, trying to snipe him from the outside or looking for him slowly, our gas masks are not going to be able to withhold the amount of poison gas that is being let out right now. It's too thick for the filters to fully filter. So they would still be getting weaker and weaker as they slowly look for him. Charge directly towards the thickest smoke and try to end the source. This would work normally, except the quirk user, his name is Mustard, is so adept at using his quirk, he can feel the movements. He's like one with the smoke. The smoke is nearly a part of him, which kind of made it weird. Like, if he's so in tune with it, and he's generating it himself, why does he need a gas mask? What a shitty quirk. Like, yeah, I can do all this, but the smoke fucks me up just as much as it does you. So, it's just a suicide move. It just seems like a really shitty quirk. But hey, he has the gas mask. If you have the gas mask, it makes you pretty fucking powerful. So for them, it was no matter what attacks you made, or sneak attacks, or if I use one guy as a decoy, try to sneak around behind him and attack, he knows you're moving. He knows you're doing that the entire time. But this is a very arrogant villain. A lot of times villains are that way. They're broken people. They need you to know how much they have over you, how much better they are than you. And he seemed to have a hang-up. He was a student as well, about UA itself. Probably that he tried to get into UA and wasn't accepted, or did get accepted but dropped out or failed out or something like that, and he wants to take his revenge on the students that did make it. He's just petty. He's petty as shit. Getting caught up in his own monologues and shooting a metal guy with bullets, which is cool, though. The hardness of his metal is dependent upon the fortitude of his own body. Like, if he can't breathe and he's been unable to breathe for a long time, the metal will get weaker. And I'm assuming if his mind state is in the wrong spot, the metal will get weaker. He's one of my favorite Class B heroes now, at least so far going on. Choji Girl eventually uses him as a distraction. The Mustard is firing upon him while he's crouched on the ground, just taunting him, going crazy. Though he does pay attention, she's able to get behind him and use her quirk, which is the ability to expand. I'm not sure if it's limited to just her hands or her arms, but right now she can expand her hands to giant sizes. Maybe as she gets stronger with the quirk, she can make her own body bigger, kind of like the giant girl or mountain girl or whatever the hell her name was. But because of that, she's able to use her hands as fans and clap, kind of like the Hulk does when he hits his hands and he makes a shockwave. She uses that to blow the gas away, which allows Metal Guy to breathe, for him to regain his strength and hand out a finishing blow to Mustard. And then from there, we switch back to Midoriya. Like I told you, they're really doing it well with giving you 10 minutes of each event going on, since there's so many things going on. If the writer had not written it as well in the manga, this could be a mess right now. But he does it so well, and just cherry on top at the end. He's a very good writer. I don't know how well the other arcs are from here, but I'll find out later on, don't worry. One thing I do enjoy about him is the variety of quirks. It's kind of like One Piece, where these quirks possibilities are endless, and they're all only as strong as you make them. If you can be creative enough, what may seem like a useless quirk can become a powerhouse. You've just got to put yourself in the right circumstances or utilize it in the way that it needs to be. We flash back, like I said, to Midoriya, who's running through the forest to then try and find Bakugo to notify them, you're the target, I got to help you. Let's make sure they don't get my childhood friend. He runs into, I don't know this guy's name either, Six Arms guy. The one that can turn whose quirk is the ability to turn parts of his body into other parts of his body, or to spawn other body parts from himself. And he is not looking so good. And they actually went gorier for the anime than I thought they would. One of his stumps is completely ripped off. It's bloodied, it's dripping. He's very, very, very fatigued right now. He explains that the damage came at the beginning of the villain attack. He used himself as a shield, which his wings are very good for that. He got in front of the people, used himself as a shield, but it knocked off one of the nodes, I guess you would call it, on the wing. But at that time, that is not the biggest threat. That's not what you need to worry about, Midoriya. Because if you want to go beyond here, and he tells, he's mentioned during the story he was with Tokoyami. Now, if you remember about Dark Shadow, the more light it is outside, the more subdued and weak Dark Shadow becomes. Now you're able, yes, he's weaker, but now you're able to use him. He's going to listen to you. He won't argue with you. At the stage that he's at, in his quirk growth, that's the best thing that you can hope for. Keep him in the light, maybe a little shadow, strengthen him up, but then he'll argue with you and become an asshole. Well, if you've noticed in the anime, it's nighttime outside. And during the attack from the villains, it triggered Dark Shadow from within Tokoyami's body. So Dark Shadow is in complete and utter darkness without a shred of light to be seen. And he has lost his shit and lost control. Motherfucking Dark Shadow's here. This is one of the moments I've been waiting for. If they do it... This Dark Shadow thing should get a whole episode dedicated to itself. He is so fucking strong when inside this shadow. When inside this amount of darkness. Like, people can't handle this level of Dark Shadow. He's not fucking around. And I hope they have a whole episode for it. Then we can move on to what other things are going on. But show me this and make it good. Well, that's all we got this week. I know I enjoyed it. I hope you all do too. Bye-bye.